Hey, what's going on, guys? Wanted to try to get a quick video in here. I've been kind of sick the last few days, so hopefully I sound okay. If my audio sounds a little weird, it's probably what the issue is. But it's been a bit since I've done a video. I'd like to try to do one at least weekly. It's been a bit longer than that, so just want to touch on a couple of topics that have been going on with the auctions on the Facebook page and some upcoming events and some analysis of some of the data we've seen and some of the newer pack openings. So I'm going to talk from the spreadsheet here and show a few images. What I'm showing here on the screen is the results of the pack openings we've seen to date from Red Zone Rogue and from Team Covenant, who just completed their third video of opening packs that were issued from the company from a booster box that they had received. So I parsed out, and I think I'm actually missing a few data points here. If I count up the number of, I have the uniques and the elites that were pulled across both openings, and there's about 43. So I'm light on a handful. Perhaps I missed a couple in one of the videos. But there were 12 packs that were given to Red Zone Rogue, and I've labeled pulls from those packs from a source called Silver. Those were the silver packs, meaning they did not have any of the pack art design printed on the packs themselves. They were just kind of like a silver wrapper material. And it's been stated by the company since then that those silver packs are the packs that we will receive. Whoever pledged in the higher tier levels will receive those as part of the Kickstarter fulfillment. So that was an interesting data point. Um, what we're trying to get at here is trying to get some understanding of the card distribution, like what cards we're likely to find in these packs, and the pull rates, and just some information about how rare the cards are at each of the different rarity levels, from ordinary through unique. Um, and then, so moving on, for the sources that say TC, those are from the Team Covenant packs. Those were the booster box that had the packs that had the pack art design on those. So we know that those were two distinctly different print runs that were likely done at different times. Now, in my last video, I showed an image dating back to November of last year, which showed the sealed booster boxes. So the box itself had the art on the box, but we did not see what was actually inside of those boxes to know if those were the silver packs or the art printed packs. So we can't really glean the origin or timing of when these Team Covenant boxes were made versus the silver packs. Um, and there are other images that I could go dig up. I'm pretty sure I've seen open booster boxes that have the silver packs inside. So I think I'll go look into that and kind of see if I can narrow in the date that those were shown. That might give us a better understanding or idea of when these silver packs were done versus the Team Covenant packs. And again, the reason we want to look at that is because it'll give us an idea of what kind of pulls we'll see, since we've actually seen some of those on YouTube. We'll at least know what types of cards are in the population. But going back to the spreadsheet here, so I'm showing all the uniques that were pulled across both people that open those, and then all of the elites. And then I highlighted in different colors, however, matching colors, to underscore the point that there was a duplicate copy of that card found. And you can see there was only 3 instances of that across uniques and elites. These are very, very rare cards. In each pack, that only occupies 1 slot. So in 1 slot in each pack, you're going to get either a unique or an elite. You won't get both, right? So it makes sense that you won't see duplicates. And then, since there's so very few sample cards in aggregate that have been printed, it's very unlikely that many copies of these will exist in the world. Some people have speculated that once Backstarter fulfillment happens in November, if the company meets its goal, that there's going to be a flood of cards onto the market, and that could cause some pricing pressure. But I really do not think that's going to be the case for exceptionals through uniques, because there's so very few duplicates of those. It would require, even if everyone's sold, there's just not enough that you're going to find several copies of these for sale at any given time. So when these come to auction, they're being priced accordingly. People are paying a hefty premium for these. Or, perhaps that's what fair valuation is, and that might seem low someday, honestly, because if the game's got to be successful, for one, of course, right? But the sample, or not the sample size, I want to say the number of copies to ever be printed are very, very tiny. So it's a very rare coveted collectible, and the results show it. So let's look at those results. We see here from the silver packs, there was a Maelstrom pulled, that's a unique, and there was also one pulled from a Team Covenant box. So we know that, there's an example of a card that was in both print runs. So we don't know if all the same print files were sent for both runs, but here's one example. And then going through the Team Covenant packs, Rift Valley, there were 2 copies of those. Interestingly, that was anomalous. There was only one unique that showed up twice across their 34 packs that they opened. For the elites, there was only one duplicate across all of the Red Zone Rogue and Team Covenant packs. There was a duplicate copy of Northern Frontline, which has now been changed to Northern Battleground. So some interesting data here across all these packs. Look, there was 29 elites pulled and only that one duplicate copy. So even the elites are super, super rare. And that's going to be an exciting pull for anybody that's getting sample packs coming up. And then just recapping the auction results as a whole. I'm going to put a spacer here because I broke these down into 2 categories. So we did 4 auctions, and then I'll talk to you about these 10 and why those were special. So we did 4. We started with the Spear of Destiny. That's the only unique card that's been auctioned so far, and that was sold for $2,000. Did extremely well. There's just not many copies of that in the world, and someone wanted it very badly, and there was a bidding war all the way up to 2K, and someone came in just as it closed, so it could have gone higher, but per the rules, it closes when it closes, and someone walked away with that for $2,000. So we did those 4 auctions. We had a unique, ordinary, exceptional, and another ordinary. Everything sold for above $500, so that did very well. And then I came up with this concept to do the Legends of Fantasy Art series. And before we get into results, I just kind of wanted to, again, recap what the purpose of that was. My intent was to kind of highlight the fact that this game is using some legendary fantasy artists that we know from early 90s era. I mean, some were doing this even into the 80s. They've been around for decades. And they did artwork that is extremely famous for Dungeons and Dragons, working for TSR, and then for WotC doing some of the Magic the Gathering alpha artists or early days, some of the early sets of Magic that are now doing alpha sorcery. So that's very special. All of the cards from this auction series were from artists of that ilk. So there were 10 in aggregate. The way I presented this auction was that I was going to select the artists just from those 2 eras, D&D and Magic, early Magic. And it was a marathon event, so 24/7 around the clock. Maybe that's why I'm sick. I don't know, lack of sleep. But every single night we launched a card at 8 p.m. We ran for 24 hours to the following night at 8 p.m. and then boom, next card up. And I announced who the artists were, but not what the card would be. And the reason for that is I wanted to draw a lot of focus and attention to the Facebook group, the Sorcery Contested Realm fan page and marketplace, and also my Collector Art House Discord group, where I mirrored the auction that allowed people to bid in both places. And I wanted to appeal to the Magic fans and the D&D fans and shine a light on Sorcery, try to draw more people into the game, create a lot of buzz and interest, and grow our community. And it was extremely successful in that regard, which is measurable because I accept people into the group and into Discord, and I can see people coming in. I can see where they're coming from and other groups they're affiliated with. And a lot of the big-time Magic collectors and both on the artwork side and cards and D&D fans and fans of the fantasy genre, that just actually some that typically don't do TCGs, but I ran some Facebook ads, tried to create a lot of awareness for the different platforms and for Sorcery, and we're getting a lot of growth. We're at 1,100 members in the Facebook group, which is really amazing. I think that the official Sorcery Facebook group has about 1,200, so to have a fan page of almost equal size is pretty incredible. Something I'm proud of that I helped build and that people are partaking in and enjoying. So anyway, it was successful on many fronts. It drew a lot of awareness. A lot of people got some amazing rare collectibles, and here are the results, right? So we did this for 10 consecutive days around the clock. We did everything from ordinary up through elite. I didn't have any uniques in this bunch, but look at some of the price points here. So the average across these turned out to be $628. Biased higher by a couple huge hits. We had the Nightmare from Drew Tucker at the elite level, $1,525, and then we finished very strong with the Waypoint Portal at $800. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people questioned, like, it's just a whale or two, sucking them all up, and there's not much of a market for this. But Actually, there were several buyers, and there were new buyers that came in over the 10 days, and the price point sustained, right? We had a couple on the lower end at 375, still tremendous for a sample card, and actually I think is a very good value for an exceptional. Some of the ordinaries did much better, around $500 or more. And we finished extremely strong, you know? So there was no fatigue. There was more people buying in, and continued sustained momentum, and everything's looking great, you know? So there's a lot of interest and value in Sorcery, and it's a really exciting time. The official release is a few months off, but these sample cards are pretty cool. So another thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up is what's upcoming, right? So I'm doing some special projects with a couple great artists. The first will be Vincent Pompetti, and those will be hand embellished prints. So he's doing prints, and there's probably going to be only 10 copies of these. They are the champion card, so that was included in the Innkeeper Pledge, which is the retail store pledge from Kickstarter. That is the first promo card, and basically like the first prize card. It's not a playable card, but it has kind of like in the teaser image they showed in the Kickstarter campaign, they show a quote in there that talks about being the victor, the champion. And there's an incredible artwork there done by Vincent Pompetti with a Holmganger, which is a battle style. You should go look that up. It's pretty fascinating. Warrior standing over his victim in battle, and his shield kind of fallen, and he's spiking his sword into the ground, and it just looks like a real epic classic art piece. So he's doing 10 prints of those, and those will be hand embellished. So he'll be painting accent pieces over top of those, and some customized homages to Alpha in a few cases. So I'll be previewing those shortly. He just mailed those to me the other day, and he lives in France, so that'll take a couple weeks or so until they arrive. But they're all kind of one of ones in their own way, because they're all distinctly unique. You know, he didn't do two alike, so they're pretty special, pretty limited, and they're really going to look really cool. So we got that, and then Severin is working on Philosopher Stone. So she's going to print the Philosopher Stone without the stone in the middle, and then the stone will be completely repainted in acrylics with gold leaf accents. So it'll look very vivid, nice size. I think these prints are probably going to be like 16 by 20 inches. So pretty good size prints, and she's completely redoing that stone, and it just looks absolutely amazing. She sent me some samples of those that are just so beautiful. I'm super pumped about that. And that card is incredible. Zach from Team Covenant called it the Black Lotus of Sorcery. So that card's got a lot of mystique about it. It's super powerful in the game, and it's got a great backstory that I wrote about on my Collector Art House website. If you want to go read the behind the art story of the Philosopher's Stone, just an exceptional piece of art. And she's also doing the 4 elemental avatars, which are basically the iconic artwork pieces of Sorcery's Alpha set. For each of the 4 avatars, she's going to be doing hand embellishments of those too, where she's painting accents on top of those. And she actually, today's August 19th, she shared a small video clip of the fire avatar and the embellishments she has done on that, and it looks just like an original painting. It's just absolutely incredible. There'll probably be 10 copies of each avatar, and we'll be auctioning at least probably 1 of 10 and 10 of 10 to kind of establish a value or price points. These things take several hours of the artist's work, so it won't be cheap, but they won't be crazy expensive either. They'll be kind of like a middle price point. I imagine we'll kind of let the market feel its way out there through auction. But, you know, significant effort by the artists. I'm very appreciative that Vincent and Severin agreed to do those. It's usually not something that artists want to spend their time and energy doing when they could be painting originals and creating new work for their portfolio. So it's very generous of them to do that. And these are just going to be coveted collectibles for us that are hardcore fans of the artwork of this game. So keep an eye out for that. And then there's a few original paintings I wanted to show that I'm going to be bringing to auction shortly. So the first here is the Grandmaster Wizard. This is showing up a little red or orangish on my screen. It's kind of like a red background. And this looks really amazing. This is by Ossi Hiekkala. There's only a few wizards in the first Alpha set. This is one of them. He actually did the Apprentice Wizard as well. Now, this card is very interesting because it was actually a unique rarity early in the game, but it's super powerful. I think it had a card draw effect. And they actually, so the sample cards are unique, but then I think in the latest update, they changed that to an elite, which meaning you'll be able to have 2 copies in your deck. But nevertheless, the artwork and the detail here looks super incredible. You kind of see the raw style of a painting. You can see the brush strokes in the image, and the Wizards just got that retro classic work look that Eric's looking for as a throwback to 90s era fantasy art. You see Ossi's little signature. He has a little symbol, I think it is, that he uses there for his signature. Just an incredible artist. He's a very unique artist. I think I did some behind the art. Go look for the Sedge Crabs behind the art article, and I think I included some information about Ossi from talking to him about that artwork and kind of his background, and his art style is very different than some of the others. So you could go learn and read more about that and learn about a great artist. Doomsday Device, this is another unique that is super flavorful, has a massive damage effect in the game. Very fitting for the artwork you see here, and this picture doesn't do it justice, unfortunately. When you see it in person, the oranges here you see from the flames within the detonation device and coming off of the fuse just really pop, and it has these earthy tones, you know, for the ground and for the detonation device itself. But this is just a beautiful artwork by Elwira. Sorry, difficult to say. Really awesome, and it's a unique. You know, there's not many unique cards in the set, and therefore not many unique paintings in the world. So that is, we're gonna auction that one off. That's pretty incredible. And then finally, the Palliburrie Bats, if I'm saying that correctly. And this is Lindsey's cool signature with their initials, Lindsey Crummet, right? LC. This is on canvas, so it's pretty thick. I think it's like an inch thick or so. I can't really tell from the image, but we'll get just the finished quality of this. I mean, the clouds are awesome. The bats have this menacing look going over this glowing moon in the night sky. Real special artwork. She's an incredible artist. She did the Ancient Dragon. Beast of Burden is another super colorful, incredible card. The Sellsword, which is one of my favorites. She's really awesome. She's down in New Zealand. This is another painting that'll be coming for sale. So each of these were purchased by a buyer, and now he's just having to resell. It's unfortunate he has to give these up, but you know, that's life. Sometimes people need to resell their work, and he wanted to do it through the auction and presented me and asked me if I could help him out, and that's what we're gonna do. So an opportunity for 3 incredible artworks coming soon. I'll be announcing the dates on a Facebook group, but the first one you're gonna see starting tomorrow night, so that's going to be Saturday night, August 20th at 8 p.m. We're going to do the Grandmaster Wizard, and that'll be a 24-hour auction. These will be handled a little differently. We're going to have a reserve price, so I won't disclose what that is up front, but once it's exceeded, I will let people know. I'll say, you know, reserve has been exceeded, so this will be sold. And there will also be a buy it now price. So if anyone doesn't want to really wants this artwork and doesn't want to risk a bidding war or missing out on this piece, they could buy it instantly at the buy it now price to guarantee the sale. So that'll create an interesting dynamic, and hopefully, you know, whoever ends up with it truly loves it and keeps it in their collection for a long time. All 3 of these just blew me away when I got them. I have them in hand, and I'll be fulfilling the order and sending to the buyers, packaged very carefully and with care and love, because I love these artworks. I wish I could keep them all myself, but we all have financial limits, you know. So thanks everybody. This was a little longer than I intended. Hope to do more of these videos soon. I just upgraded my camera, so that's pretty exciting. I'm ordering some accessories and things that are going to allow me to do more real-time images of these and make these images a little more exciting and interactive, and be able to see the cards better, some of the artwork. I got those embellished prints coming in from Vincent soon, so I'll show off some of those, and can't wait to share those details with people coming soon. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. I'm trying to grow the channel, and I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the content. All right, take care, everybody. Stay healthy. See ya.